Hello there. What we're going to do today is make a nice little keepsake hedgehog out of a pom-pom, because everybody loves pom-poms, and if you've got like nephews, neighbours, kids come round, then you can easily teach them how to make a pom-pom and they're going to love you for it, and it's going to be great fun. Okay, so what I have here is some leftover fleece, and as you can see I haven't got much. That's because I know I'm not going to need much. I know, I'm quite a rebel. So what I've done here, out of my literal scraps, is I've sewn a spiky nose. So it's kind of a blunt triangle. And then I can literally just fold that round. And I can do it with a sewing machine if you've got one handy. Like mine's out, so I'm quite happy just to run this down here. And as it's in zigzag, it makes no sense. And it's not got any thread in it now. Okay, so if you've got a sewing machine that's ready to go, then that's grand. Otherwise, what we can do is we can just hand sew this. So, now I'm going to use buttons for the eyes, and I've got some nice black wool for the nose. And I'm not going with any particular colour scheme. In fact, because I'm going to be using buttons out of an assortment bag, a craft assortment bag, then they might not even match. I'm quite a rebel like that. Now, depending on how neat you're stitching in, obviously, mine is not neat, we can either turn this inside out, or we can just have the stitches on show. And that's kind of nice, you know, it kind of gives it a really sort of warm, homemade feeling. And that's nice, especially as if you're doing this with somebody else, or you're doing this for a keepsake for somebody. So, yeah, I know. Maybe this is a bit of the boring bit of the show. I actually stitch stuff. So here we go, turning it inside out. And I'm going to put a little bit of stuffing in there. This is just to keep it all sort of firm and in place. You know, it's good. Now I'm using toy stuffing. I must admit I don't really like it because it feels quite yucky on my fingers when I'm stuffing it. It feels like it's drying out my hands. And look, this is cream, this is grey, this is horrible. But it's proper, proper stuff. So there we go, we've got a little bit of stuffing in there. And we've got our needle, and we can just do a couple of stitches just to make it all seem quite authentic. Now, I made the pom-pom earlier. There are loads of pom-pom videos on there. I use one of these. These are great. I got it from the internet, although they are in craft shops now. So there's even a couple of my videos where it shows you how to make pom-poms, so I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to stitch the eyes on next, and then I'm going to stitch it all together. So I'll be back in a mo. Hiya. So I've sewn on a button for the nose. I know I'm quite a liar, but I just think that looks really cute. And as we're doing a hedgehog, hedgehogs do have that sort of snuffly nose. So yes, you have to forgive me. All my sews, even the big ones, seem a bit ad hoc now. Okay, so we are coming towards the end of it, and there's my pom-pom, there's my nose. I am going to seal it in. You could seal it in with a piece of cloth, or you could seal it in with just pulling a couple of threads across the top. I'm actually going to seal it in because I want it to look nice. And then I'm probably going to go with a little blanket stitch in white cotton just to keep it all tidy. So lovely. And with the same thread, I will then sew it. When we make a pom-pom, what we do is we have a thread around the middle. So I've just found it there. It's quite easy to find if you're coming back to it. And I'm going to mainly focus on getting this round that thread. So yeah, it's all good. It's all coming together. And I've got to think of a name. It's got to be quite an old-fashioned name, hedgehogs, because they are like grumpy old men. We have albino ones here, hence the fascination with them. And they're, to survive the winter, they're supposed to be about the size of a guinea pig. They're supposed to be massive, and they never get that big here. So we have a shed for them. And they just sort of grunt around, and quite happy. Yeah. Quite happy little things, and great for gardeners because they eat about 200 slugs a night. So could you imagine that? It's just revolting. They probably eat their own body weight in slugs, but we feed ours on cat food if we have them. We didn't have any last year and the year before because it was so mild, but you never can tell. I suppose if it's mild, then they go for a second litter, and then the babies are too small for the winter. So, but yeah, such is life. Yeah, it always used to be a myth, and it's not true, because otherwise we wouldn't have any. That albino hedgehogs get killed by other hedgehogs, and it doesn't seem to affect them around here because we've got quite a strong community. But yeah, you know. You just don't know. One thing they do suffer from, both normal hedgehogs and albino ones, is they get terrible sunburn. Yeah, so you really have to be aware of that if you're having dealings. Yes, if you see one caught in a fence or something, then, you know, chances are it's going to get sunburned before 9 o'clock. So here we go. We have got our little face, and we've capped the end off. And now we found the centre tie-up of the pom-pom. And we're just going to put a couple of stitches. But I'm going to make sure that I go through this centre line each time. Otherwise, it's just not going to stay there. It's if I picked any of these singularly threads, then it would just unravel. I could pop out a single thread. So if you've got a long needle, then that's grand. You'll need a needle that can go through the pom-pom and go through the sewy bit. So, but literally right through. Watch out for the spiky bit, which I always manage to find, and then back again. So, I know. It's a bit talk among yourselves, isn't it, with these crafty makes? I never know which bits to show you, which bits not to. But so I'm going right through again. I suppose an old-fashioned name like Henry might not work because he's pink. I didn't really think that through, did I? Oh well, I'm sure he'll evolve a name on his own. I'm just going to give him a sort of little brush up. I want to sort of keep him fluffy. And just whilst I'm doing him, he's picking up every single thread here of that's on the table. You know, there's like little bits and everything. So there we are. I know. So a little hedgehog, a little keepsake for a friend, and yeah, or a little friend for you. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching. My name's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee, and I do a video daily at the moment. And yeah, please like, subscribe, share. Thank you ever so much.